Welcome to the How to Quit Working show. This is the only show that brings you awesome people just like you who got sick and tired of doing something they don't like and don't care about and have created an amazing life of freedom using what they know instead of just getting paid for what they do. And now, here's your host, the Quit Working guy, Jeff Steinman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today we have Sammy Blackford. Sammy suffered from extreme acne and skin conditions. She searched high and low for the solution. She found it, and now she's built a business that is compatible with what she wants out of life around helping other women to deal with their skin issues, and she loves it, and she's here to talk to us today. Sammy, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to have you. I love the stories from people who had some kind of an issue, they figured it out, and they said, I am not going to let anybody else suffer with this issue. I am going to take all this information that I found in my awesome story to the world and help everybody to not have this problem anymore. I love that.
I know, I think in a way it's kind of the best way to build a business because you have obviously been where your customer is now. So you know you can empathize with them, you know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And you've got the experience as well to help them.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your story and how this all evolved and how this all came about.
From my teens, really, I've battled with acne. And when I was researching how to heal my acne, I realized that the products I was putting on my skin probably wasn't doing any good because they're so full of chemicals. So that led me to finding these sort of traditional recipes for skincare products, so like cleansers and face masks and all this sort of stuff. And so I started playing around and I started mixing a few up and trying them, and they had a positive effect. So I thought, well, try a few more, see how they go, and then gave them to friends and family. They tried them, and it kind of built from there. And that's when I launched my natural skincare line, Freya Luna. Sorry.
For our listeners, can you spell the name of your skincare line?
It's FREYALUNA.
Excellent. Two separate words?
No, one word.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then my skin calmed down and my acne went and everything was fine. And then a few years later, I moved from a little countryside village in North Wales to the big city of London.
Okay.
My mum was really ill, we found out, and I was working this part-time job while I tried to build my business, and just the stress just got to me, everything got to me, and my acne came back with a really bad chronic case. So then that got me thinking again. Obviously, it's more than just what you put on your skin that affects it. It's got to do with what you're eating, your lifestyle. Obviously, stress plays a huge part, and hormones. And so that led me to the idea of detox. And that's so I put myself through a detox program after researching it. And then that's kind of where my skin detox program came from. After putting myself through it and seeing the beneficial effects, it was kind of the next step, the next way I could help my clients.
That's awesome. Now, do you use your story with your clients? Do you talk about your story? Do you use it in your marketing and your promotion and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I think it really helps for clients to know that I have been through what they're going through.
Okay.
And it's when somebody comes to you saying, I've got acne or eczema or whatever it is, and you say, you know what, maybe you should try a detox if you've tried everything else. And they're kind of like, really? A detox for my skin?
Uh-huh.
So it kind of helps to be able to say, well, this is what I did and this is how it worked for me. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, definitely. I think, and people can identify with you, and when they hear that, they hear your story, and what you went through and how you found the solution, that puts you in a whole different light than Estee Lauder or any of the other companies that you're, I say competing with in air quotes, because ultimately because of that story you're not competing with them at all. You're on a whole different level than they are, and I think that's really cool. Now, you mentioned you have a skincare line. How did you go about creating a line of skincare products?
It started off that I was just making them for myself. And then when I gave them to friends and family and they liked them and they kind of said, can I have some more of that, and then kind of, well, my friend's got eczema and, can you make us some of that stuff that you gave me? And it's just kind of like by word of mouth, it sort of grew.
Okay.
So it was just kind of like on a casual basis to begin with. And then I started doing, like craft fairs and markets and things, just, see if there was anybody who would actually pay for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of went from there. So it's just kind of, it's all natural ingredients. So it's really easy ingredients to get hold of. So it's not like I'm putting all these chemicals in that needs all sorts of testing and whatever. Obviously all my products are safety tested.
Okay.
So yeah, it just kind of kept growing. It started off small and then just kind of built itself up.
Okay. So what are there any sort of like regulatory issues or anything that you fall under in your jurisdiction that requires any sort of oversight or anything?
Yeah, there's I can't think what it's called now. It's like cosmetic safety regulations or something like that.
Okay.
That we have to adhere to.
Okay.
And there's product labeling standards that you have to adhere to.
Okay. Okay. And it sounds like that's not too arduous. That doesn't create a big issue for you. Because what my fear is, at least in the U.S., I think about 70% of our listeners are in the U.S. The rest are all over the world.
Yeah.
But I fear that folks might be gun shy about doing something like that because of potentially regulation that they would fall under or whatever. But it sounds like, and I know regulations are obviously different in every country, but it sounds like that's not been a huge issue for you.
No, because the ingredients we use are natural, so there's nothing too harmful in them.
Okay.
It is easier than if you were, say, Estee Lauder or whoever who put like all sorts of ingredients in those.
I see. Okay. So now, where are those made? Do you make those at your home yourself?
Yes. They started off. I had a workroom in my house, but we've moved now to a bigger site. We've got a studio space just kind of up the road.
Awesome. So you have other people that help you make those?
Yeah.
Okay. So what that means is, if you want to go somewhere, even though you're handling and dealing with physical products, if you want to go travel around Australia or Canada or the U.S. for a month, you can do that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of why I developed the business the way I did, because I had the product business because I've always wanted to work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main thing is I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to work for myself. So this kind of the natural skincare line was something that I love doing, some way I can help women, and it was working for myself. So, it was all positive. But then I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I'm going to be tied to this for as long as I can see into the future. So is this what I want? So that's kind of why I developed the add-on side to the business, which is the detox programs and the consultations. And so that gives me more flexibility in my time and in my location. As long as I've got an internet connection, I can be anywhere in the world.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about your programs and your consultations and the non-product things that you do, or the non-physical product things that you do.
About a year after I started the skincare line, I started a blog, just kind of like skincare advice, some skincare recipes people can make at home, just like little bits and pieces. So I've been writing for a few years now. And I love that side of it as well, because I love being able to share the products, but I love being able to share the knowledge kind of behind them as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the programs came from, was to share the knowledge and the experience as well. So the Skin Detox program, it's only launched this year, so it's quite new. It's a 6-week program, which in the first week we talk about all the different aspects of your lifestyle and where you live and your diet and everything that can affect your skin. So we get a load of information in there just so that we know, so my clients can know where I'm coming from with recommending a detox for skin.
Okay.
And then we do a preparation week, which is kind of where we look at like the diet and what we should take out of the diet and what we should put into it. And then we do a 3-week detox, body detox, which cuts out all the bad foods in inverted commas. And we put in loads of healthy, yummy, good food. And then we look at like lifestyle aspects, like what chemicals you use to clean your house and everything like that. Stress, exercise. We look at every different thing during that 3 weeks. And then the last week, the 6th week, is kind of coming out of the detox and bringing you back into like your normal sort of lifestyle, and kind of any changes you want to make to your lifestyle after you've done the detox.
Okay.
So it's like a full program. It takes them through the whole thing and brings them out the other end as well.
Okay. And how do you interact with the participants of the program? Is it over the phone or Skype, or is it webinar?
It's mostly done through email.
Okay.
So all the information is sent through email, and then there are Skype consultations as well.
Okay.
Like one-on-one.
Okay. So in the emails that they get, are those all automated through an automated provider?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is we see a lot of times when we say program, we might think of something that requires you to kind of get on a call once a week or something like that. But you've really just got this completely streamlined.
Yeah, at the moment. I mean, there are some Skype consultations, one-on-one, but mostly it is just automated.
Yeah, and the Skype consultations and one-on-ones that you do, those have to get scheduled, right? So they have to work with you or one of your staff members to schedule those. And the one thing that I love is I do that as well, and I think that that's an incredibly important and valuable way to build educational products, because by getting to interact with people, you get to understand what parts of your program are working for them, what parts are not, what can you expand on, what can you do better, what can you do differently. And I think it's a really valuable way to grow and expand your business and continue to serve your customers in a deeper and higher quality way more and more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as well as the Skype consultations, I run alongside the program, I run a Facebook group, which is where all the participants of the program are in this Facebook group, so they can kind of help and support each other. And I'll like pop in and out every now and again, and I'll talk to people as well through that. So it's kind of it's on like a few different levels.
Yeah. You know, and that is one of the hallmarks of a company or a business that has really reached a good level of maturity, is when there's actually a community built around the products and the services and what is done. So that's really awesome that you've done that. I love that.
Yeah, well, I think it helps because, I mean, like, I know when I had acne when I was younger, I felt like I was the only one. I mean, none of my friends seemed to have it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's good that that my clients have got a community of other people, so they don't feel so alone, so isolated. They've got each other to kind of talk about with.
Yeah, all the more how your story, bringing that in and bringing in and keeping it at the forefront of your mind, how, you know, what would have helped you when you were in the situation that your clients are in has allowed you to deliver even higher value, better products and services. So that's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, tell me a little bit about your life. What does your life look like on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it doesn't really have a day-to-day basis.
Okay. That's okay.
It just kind of changes every day.
Okay.
Well, Well, at the moment, I'm living back in North Wales. So it's kind of, we live out in the countryside, and I mean, today it's raining and foggy, so it's not very nice out there. But when it's nice, I'm out in the garden, if I can be. I go for lunch with friends, go out to the cinema or whatever when I want to,
Yeah.
So there isn't really, I don't really have a set schedule.
Okay.
I just kind of, I know when there's work that needs to be done, it needs to be done. But I also know that I'm pretty flexible time-wise.
Okay.
So if I want to go off and do a little shopping spree at, 2:00 in the afternoon, then I can.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
It's the best thing.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you have a studio very close to where you live. Do you go there often?
Yeah, I pop in every now and again. I'll go at least once a week.
Oh wow! So you have physical space, and you're only there like once a week.
At least, yeah. I mean, I'll go a few times more, but I've got the people who deal with it are pretty good, so I just let them do it. I don't want to be breathing down their necks all the time, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what would you say is the biggest mistake that you made along the way as you were building this business?
I think when I first started out, because I knew I wanted to work for myself, and I'd always wanted to travel and see the world. So I think the biggest mistake was starting off with a product-based business. Although it's worked out in the end, it's kind of taken longer to get there. To have the lifestyle that I wanted. But I mean, it's worked out in the end. So the other thing is the fear monster. The whole "am I good enough" sort of thing that got me quite a bit.
Very common.
Yeah, it is a big one.
Yeah. What allowed you to get over that "am I good enough" syndrome?
Well, it was mostly when I was writing the skin detox program. It's kind of like, well, does anybody want to know this? Will anybody listen to me? But then it was kind of like, well, this has worked for me. So there's all these women out there struggling. So to not write this program is kind of, doing these women a disservice.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like turned it around in my mind. And that kind of pushed me forward then.
So really it sounds like what helped you was thinking about the fact that you had something that other women really deserved to hear and deserved to learn about.
Yeah, definitely.
And that became probably more important in your mind than the second thoughts and the second guessing of, am I good enough? Who's going to listen to me?
Yeah, I mean, if ever I feel kind of like that, am I good enough sort of thing, I always go back to well, these women, need this information. They need this help. So that kind of like pushes me on and gets me to do it then.
Yeah. So what are some of the key things? You mentioned that you do blogging. What are some of the other key things that you do to market your business and to get your name out there?
Well, got a Facebook page. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Google Plus. I'm on LinkedIn. All that stuff. And I write for other people. So last week, I think it was, I wrote for a magazine in Australia. Which is a whole new market for me. Australia. I write for publications in the UK. I write for other people's blogs. So I think that's a great way to get out there.
Yeah, definitely. How did you get your foot in the door with those publications?
It's basically just emailing them, phoning them, writing to them saying, this is my background, this is what I do, would you like me to write an article for you? One in Australia was actually, they had an advert up saying they were looking for a beauty writer. So I contacted them and they asked me to write an article and I wrote one and they loved it. So so it's just kind of like I mean, you'll get more no's than you get yeses, but
Sure. And you got to be okay with that.
yeah, I mean, like, if you get one yes out of 10, and then, you know, that's one yes, that's one person who wants to know what you've got to know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Anything else that you do that's working to get your name out there?
I think that's mostly what I do online. I did,
Okay.
in the UK, I did the last couple of years, I've done some trade shows and
Okay.
like there's an allergy show in the UK, which is all like gluten-free bread and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I was
Okay.
there. So it all helps to build kind of the reputation.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, good stuff. You know, what the biggest thing that I found is it's not about that one big interview or that one big thing or that one big promotion or that one big joint venture. It's never that one big thing. It's the accumulation of all those tiny little things that don't seem like they're doing anything by themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you say tweet once a day every day, then that's better than just doing some amazing like promotional tweet once a month.
Yeah,
You've got to keep yourself out there. You've got to make yourself known to people.
Definitely. Cool. Well, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give to somebody else who wants to do this? Because that's what our listeners want to do.
I would say just go for it, and keep going. Even if you've, I don't know, say you're working 9 till 5, you've got 3 children, a husband and a house to care for, you can find, say, 10 minutes to sit down and write a blog post. Or, you know, you can find some time to do a bit towards the business. I mean, it might not be the lifestyle you want straight away, but again, you've got to do the little steps that get you there.
Definitely.
And you got to keep doing them. Don't let the fear monster get you.
Definitely. Cool. Well, where can our listeners go? The fear monster. I love that. That's so cool. Because that's a big, scary monster that
It is.
runs through all of our houses at night and during the day.
Just creeps up on you when you're not expecting it.
Yes, exactly. Where can our listeners go to get more information about you and your product line and your programs?
They can go to my website, which is it's a bit of a strange one to say.
Okay.
Love-yourself-naturally.com.
Loveyourselfnaturally.com with hyphens.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will link that up below the show, and it is love-yourself-naturally.com. You can get more information about Sammy and her products and her programs. And Sammy, I thank you tremendously for coming on the show and talking about your awesome experience. I love the perspective that you brought to us, and I thank you, and I wish you the best of luck with everything that you've got going on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.